So, Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi is scheduled to address the 2024 UN General Assembly.
Minister Retno is expected to reaffirm Indonesia's steadfast support for Palestinian independence and to advocate for the two-state solution. We'll dig deeper on what expectation we have with our foreign minister ahead where her UNGA stage. We have Teku Reza Shah, international relations expert from Pajajaran University. Good morning, Pak Reza.
Good morning to you.
Okay.
Greetings from Bandung, the
Yes.
capital city of Asia and Africa.
Hi, so this is Shafira and Yasha live from Jakarta, and as we mentioned earlier about the minister Ibu Retno, that she is expected to reaffirm Indonesia's steadfast support for Palestinian at the UNGA. What are the key themes for the 2024 UN General Assembly, and what do we expect Minister Retno to emphasize in her speech?
I think the theme this year is leaving no one behind, acting together for the advancement of peace, sustainable development, and human dignity for present and future generations. I think in this forum, Madam Retno will restate Indonesia's strong position with regards to the Palestine, and then the implementation of the two-state solution as the path to just and comprehensive peace. I also think that in the next speech, Ibu Retno will also mention the crucial steps needed toward realizing the two-state solution again, and at the same time, Madam Retno will also pay the word intentions on the needs to put political pressure on Israel to stop the atrocities. I think I recall also the statement from the earlier speakers, for example, who mentioned excellent keywords such as systematic slaughter of women and children, and also stop the suffering and end of occupation. I think Ibu Retno will speak in a more diplomatic way.
Okay. Pak Reza, how do you assess Indonesia's ongoing commitment to the Palestinian issue on the global stage, and how much has it, how much impact has it had so far?
Well, to be specific, Indonesian position with regard to the Palestinian issue is very strict and consistent at the unilateral level, as well as bilateral, regional, and global levels. In short, Indonesia has refused to recognize the state of Israel until a peace agreement is reached between Israel and the state of Palestine. And I think in promoting its position, Indonesia has become the main actor in all forums of the UN, especially in the United Nations General Assembly, and also its capacity as the non-permanent member of the UNSC. And then importantly, Madam Retno introduced a very strong speech when she mentioned she rejected the views of some countries that delayed the recognition of Palestine by waiting for the right time. When she rhetorically questioned, when will be the right time for Indonesia? The right time is now. We don't want to wait until all Palestinians are displaced, until 100,000 people killed. This was a very excellent statement.
Yes, and very profound as a statement from the country like Indonesia, who is continuously supporting Palestine throughout this year, especially to what's happening for the past 1 year. So, do you think it's still relevant, Pak? Still, as we know that the political, or probably the war is escalating in the Middle Eastern area. So do you think it's still relevant that the support from Indonesia is two-state solutions?
I think it is very relevant and remain relevant, because until today, the United Nations has been stuck into a dead-end situation. There is always a dispute in the United Nations General Assembly. There is also dispute in the United Nations Security Council, and also we find that oftenly the P5, in this case the US especially, the US always say they always speak in double talk. On one sense, it says the importance of a peaceful solution, but at the same time, when there is a bombardment conducted by Israel, it tends to be quiet.
Yeah.
I think with regard to the political landscape, we are also experiencing a situation where some countries maintaining diplomatic relations with Israel in the Middle East, and some countries do not recognizing Israel, and also some countries are at the moment in a very fearful situation with Israel, such as Iran.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how does Indonesia's stance on Palestine affect its bilateral relations with other Middle Eastern countries? I mean, Middle Eastern countries, there's different countries, different policies, different relationship with Israel in this case. You know, it seems like, you know, we were always talking about
Saudi
Iran,
Arabia,
Iraq,
of
but
course.
Saudi has a different
Yeah.
policy.
And also the Gulf country.
the Gulf countries
Yeah.
also very different. How do you feel about that? What's your view on that?
Well, I think Indonesia has received great respect from countries in the Middle East and also in the Gulf states. This is considering not only Indonesian consistency since year 1955 when we had the Asia-Africa Conference in Bandung, but also Indonesia is the founder of Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Indonesia is the founder of Non-Aligned Movement. Indonesia also is a credible member inside the Organization of Islamic Conference. And countries, especially in the Middle East and the Gulf, also witness Indonesian consistencies in all UN sessions and forums. So this has become a channel for Indonesia to maintain good relations with all countries, and this situation helped Indonesia to initiate resolutions, especially in the United Nations General Assembly, and also it is good. It gives strength for Indonesia once it becomes the unelect member of the United Nations Security Council, or called the E10. Indonesia also initiated resolutions, even though at the end the draft were wiped out by the United States, especially. And this consistency has helped Indonesia to receive investment coming from countries in the Middle East, and also Indonesia always considered as a trusted ally for the countries in Middle East when it comes to difficulties in that region, especially when it affects Palestine.
Okay, Pak Reza, since you mentioned that Indonesia had done so many things, with the international relations, and we have the same vision to see the liberations of Palestine and two-state solutions. Do you think any other diplomatic strategies that this country should adopt to ensure the Palestinian issue remains central on the UN agenda?
Well, when it comes to peace, this has become the call in the Indonesian constitution, because it is stated that Indonesia has a responsibility to help promoting world peace and order. And in this case, I think we have done very much. But anyway, there are always necessary steps to be followed. For example, at the unilateral level, we tend to witness that the statement with regards to the Palestine usually come from the executive. I wish to see more statements coming from the legislative. I wish to see more statements coming from the people in different provinces inside Indonesia, and also this should become also the theme in academic dialogue, academic papers, academic seminars inside Indonesia, and also at the diplomatic levels. I wish to see that these keywords remain put into the Indonesian diplomatic positions at various occasions. And with regard to the Palestine again, usually ASEAN at its summit deliver a macro statement. I sincerely hope that ASEAN could give a stronger statement, considering that some of the ASEAN member countries have diplomatic relations with Israel.
Right.
But again, I sincerely hope that Indonesia will utilize its diplomatic charisma in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Reza, how influential is Indonesia in shaping international opinion on Palestine through its UN speeches? Maybe not just UN speeches, but also, you mentioned that Indonesia's role in ASEAN and other organizations. How are we making? Is Indonesia making a change here?
Yes, because in the mind of Israel, there are two countries in the world need to be totally approached to win diplomatic recognition. The first one is Saudi Arabia. The second one is Indonesia. For Saudi Arabia, we can understand the logic that it is a very rich and it is very profound in the area of geopolitics, geoeconomic, and geostrategic in the Middle East. But with Indonesia, we are also very strategic considering our location and also the fact that we have around more than 200 million Muslims living in Indonesia today. So Indonesia can be considered as the most populated Muslim in the world today.
Yeah.
And I think Indonesian attitude is very influential, and not to mention Indonesian credibility, Indonesian economic growth, Indonesian long stability, and not to mention Indonesia is part of the G20. So I think when it comes to shaping international opinion, Indonesia is under the world radar, and especially when the statement was mentioned by Madam Retno Marsudi, not many female foreign minister in the world at this very moment.
Yes, I agree. So, Pak Reza, we know that we also know that Israel recently attacked Hezbollah's headquarters in Beirut, and they claim to eliminate senior leaders. What's your perspective on this development?
Well, I think this episode shows the superiority of Israel at the air and also at the information and technology level. They had successfully reassembled walkie-talkies and other kind of media of communication in such a way, and it could enter the land of Lebanon in such a way without the notice of the authorities, and these equipments bombed at the same second. And I think the next target is, if I put myself in the shoes of Israel, this will not stop. It will go from Beirut to other cities inside Lebanon, and also it will go to the border between Lebanon and Syria. Yeah. I think it is difficult to eliminate senior leaders of the Hezbollah, but anyway, Israel will continue until it satisfies itself. Yes.
Yeah. We really hope that the bad things are not going to happen, but we are following the news, so we are going to wait about the updates, and of course for the UNGA, we're waiting for the Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi. We have a special report from the 2024 UN General Assembly. Thank you so much, Pak Reza, International Relations expert from Pajajaran University. Thank you so much for your insight as well. It's really eye-opening, of course, and feeling hopeful about what you said. Thank you so much, Pak. Have a good day. Have a great weekend to you.
Thank you, Pak Reza.
All right, we're up for another short break. In the meantime, don't forget to follow our social media accounts. If you haven't already, we're on Instagram, X, also